Hey guys, you're still tuned in here with us at VBuzz with Shankari and myself, Jay Walia. Now, you know I love my t-shirts. I'm a t-shirt kind of man. And to many of us, a t-shirt is just a t-shirt, a comfortable piece of clothing. But what you may not know is that going into that t-shirt business could be a lucrative opportunity, especially if you're able to find a niche that fits the market demand. Now, of course, you got band t-shirts, vintage t-shirts, statement t-shirts. You know, there are several corners of the market to tap into. Our next guests, Ilani Manshur and Mas Liza Manshur, are tapping into a different t-shirt market. T-shirt for children. But they're not making the t-shirts. The children are. How cool is that? With the CreaTee's kit, children are given the tools to create their DIY wearable art that's entirely based on their own creative expression. CreaTee's kit is also tackling social issues that impact children like anti-bullying and self-esteem issues by providing children with creative outlets. They join us now to tell us a whole lot more. Welcome to VBuzz, Ilani and Liza.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you for coming on the show. You know, I was just telling you earlier how jealous I am that this was not around when I was a kid, because the closest that I have to CreaTee's t-shirt is those that signed at the last day of school. All your friends sign on it, and that's about it. But let's, Ilani, you have a background in psychology. Now, based on that, your experience, and also based on your perspective, how does art tie in building self-esteem amongst children?
Okay, well, growing up, sometimes you go through stuff, and then, you feel isolated, and you bullied. You get into this mode of victim mode. So having, the arts as a safe outlet to express yourself and, to focus your thoughts on positivity. And that's how good self-esteem starts,
It's an escape, it's a safe place as well.
Safe place, and like I said, you kind of focus your thoughts on your abilities instead of focusing on that feeling bad and feeling isolated and feeling lonely when you're bullied. That helps you build that confidence.
Was art your way of escapism? Because I read in an article that growing up you too were a victim of bullying.
I was quite an easy target, being bullied in school. And I know from my own personal experience, I did use art as a safe outlet, for me. And that helped me a lot. I mean, honestly.
Great. It's for me itself, art. I love drawing. I was a very quiet kid when I was younger, and the one way I chose to express myself most of the time was actually through art itself.
Yeah, that kind of opens you up, doesn't it?
Exactly. And you actually show people your paintings and you talk about it. But Liza, was art a very big part of your, schooling time as well?
I started art like all children, I think we started, we do art when we're small, right? Our dad would come back, and every month he'll get me this coloring book. So every when he gets his pay, that was one thing that I would get. And I think although kids starts art, it's a natural progression, for kids to enjoy art. But sometimes when we grow older, that's not encouraged as much, But my parents were great. They knew that was something that I was inclined. And I think even my sister, she knows. She's when I was drawing figures, right? She'll end up with a stick figure, and mine is a bit more. Yeah, she couldn't draw to save her life.
To save my life.
but mine would be more elaborate. Did I end up drawing something for you, I guess?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was given that freedom to enjoy art, to keep exploring it, and it was also my father that encouraged me, by saying oh, is this something you like to do? Maybe, design is an outlet. So I was very fortunate to have that push since I was a child. And my sister's more into, she loves singing.
I'm more into performing arts.
Choir,
so
performing arts, And I'm more quiet one that kind of draw, things like that. So, so it's part of our growing up process, and having parents that sort of support you helps. And I made it a career out proud of it.
Yes, you were actually a graphic designer.
Correct.
Ileana, you were an elementary school teacher. Both of you were in America, and then you returned home, and you thought that starting this whole DIY T-shirt kit was a great thing to do. What did you see that made you decide that you want to start creating?
Okay, so as we all are very much aware, technology is part of our everyday life. We left for US. We were there working and all that. You don't see people use it like just to make phone calls, right? Very here and there, right? And we came back, and of course in the last even like 10 years, like you can't go anywhere and not see kids having this gadget, And we talk a lot, we go out, we hang out, and I think seeing a baby in a stroller, having like not even two, having this thing, I mean it's good. I mean I'm not saying technology is bad, but at the same time, if you see families sitting together, not communicating, I mean it's like it
doesn't encourage communications or thinking at all.
Right. So from there on, we thought like, wouldn't it be, to go to old school, and I would sit there for hours just like coloring, like thinking back. So why not create something that children can like sit and enjoy, and at the same time they are the creativity, they work on their creativity at the same time, because the kit that we do, the way we design it is just not tracing. Like you have to sit there and like think of different variations.
Yeah, Lisa, we are on the same page with kids and technology. I think it's important, but my nieces and nephews, there's this rule: you do not touch my phone when you're with me. You come, I'll read you a book or something like that. Just because, and also art helps with motor skills
Motor
too,
skills,
right?
that's right. Thinking, motor skills, and communication. When you're too absorbed in it, you're not really looking at each other in the eye and, getting to know each other or even talking to each other. I feel bad when I see, parents, it's supposed to be lunch, and the child is only 1 year old.
We see that very often. We go to cafes,
and the child is, I'm feeding you food, and then there's this gadget in front.
Exactly.
Just because supposedly it soothes the child, when I personally feel that children, you give them options, they're not going to choose.
Yeah, and the thing about art is, so coming back to art itself, the thing about art is the possibilities are endless as well. You could use so many different mediums. So Ilani, why T-shirts specifically?
You know what, to be honest, it's pretty much a no-brainer to have the T-shirts for the both of us, because we wanted children to wear it and feel proud. That's the most important thing. Like, they create something and they wear it, they walk around in it, the look on their faces is...
So all kids have T-shirts, right? Like everywhere you go, like no matter how old you are, you'll have a T-shirt, so...
And then they wear it and they have that pride on their faces.
Yeah, that sense of pride, like, I made this.
I made this.
Yes.
In fact, I think, we had a little young man that walked around after doing his T-shirt, went around the neighborhood saying, I made that T-shirt.
Wow.
I made that T-shirt. Hello, I made that T-shirt.
You know what? I would be doing the same thing probably if I'd made my own T-shirt. But when you started this initiative, the first thing that you spent a lot of time on was actually creating the components in the kit, making sure that it's safe and it's user-friendly. So what was the whole process of choosing what were the items that are going to be in the CreaTee's kit?
Right. So it's quite an organic process. So obviously we weren't quite sure like what we should put in there. But like in our kit, they're just different components. We've got the Malaysian batik, we've got the felt, and the marker, and also like the stencil. We wanted it to be different, so we wanted the kids to go through the learning process as well with the stencil. So the marker, obviously, because it's T-shirt, so we chose a safe, it's a water-based marker, so it's safe for the children. And also for the batik and for the felt, it's also hand and coordination.
Yes.
So like the parents have to help them cut it. So they, that goes into play as well.
And the patterns sort of stimulate their minds
Yes,
as well when they see
correct.
it.
Even the markers, it had to be like and this is something I did not know because my sister worked with children. Like the markers had to be of like a bigger marker was bigger so that they can hold it.
Yeah, because the grips.
the
Yeah, the
children
grips.
have.
Yeah, I
Right.
did not know that. So I was just like, I just wanted like a nice,
So
cute
this is where
marker,
it came
right?
out.
That's very interesting. Having said that, just with the grips, children of different ages, they have different sort of grips. So do you have different kits for different age groups?
No, we just have one, but I think that's good enough for starters. Like we recommend it for 6 and up, even though the older ones can use it, because if you're the older ones, you can your grip is much better, but it's still comfortable for you. But if you're younger, it's still it's just a nice size that you can hold it.
And that's with regards to the components of the kit itself, the marker and the likes of that. But you mentioned about the stencil a little earlier. And with your background in graphic design and you having worked with kids as well, Lani, was there sort of a meeting of our minds where you all came together and sort of worked out the designs and the likes of that?
Yeah, we work together. I mean, we're forced to work together, we're sisters. But the stencil, because I'm more design, so that's, what I'm good at. And she's good in, telling me, okay, that's good for the kids. Like,
like the design part, okay, maybe this would work for the kids. And
what sort of designs work best for kids, actually?
Not especially the age range that we're looking at. Nothing too overly complex, but nothing too simple, because the thing is we want to encourage them, to think, and that the choices of the marker is important to the size. So just to make it easier for them to hold and to,
and the
work
shapes
around it.
I think any shapes that's traceable, it's easy for them to go around. So nothing so intricate,
Yeah, a lot of work and thought has gone behind, the cutesy images that we see on the shirts itself. Nice.
9 months of it.
Oh, wow.
It was 9 months.
Another very important aspect of creating anything for children is safety.
Oh,
so how did you ensure that all of these items that are in the CreaTee kit are safe for children?
Well, that's the safety data sheet material that we had to do our research and, make sure. So all the materials are in line with the children's safety regulations internationally. And then it's all non-toxic and water-based, basically.
Okay,
Okay,
easy to wash, great.
And it's safe to use in the washing machine, and it's not
That's our favorite question. Like, when you do the T-shirts, right?
Yeah.
That's our actually #1 question that parents ask. Like, can I put it in a washing machine?
Yeah, because we don't want to be sending it to dry cleaning every other day, right? So that's great.
safe to go.
Of course, it's not just, it's great that it's art, it's an outlet for the kids, but there's also a cause behind it, an anti-bullying message behind, the entire art and the likes of that as well. Now, Ilani, you mentioned about your personal experience a little earlier, but, did you encounter a lot of kids in your time, teaching and working with kids who were victims of bullies themselves, which led you to want to start this movement?
You know what, to be honest, maybe it was a little bit selfish, I guess, in that sense, because it just came from a point of I was reading stuff in the newspaper about kids being bullied in school and, things like that. And then it kind of took me back to when I was, a child. And that was, really how it all started.
I think it's more personal. I think, we started the business wanting to contribute to children, like as a designer. I'm not a teacher. My sister's a teacher, but it's in terms of design, that is something I can give back to. And I think for her, we chose the cause as well because it is something near to to our hearts. And having having background in psychology, I learned a lot from my sister, obviously. So you kind of understand, it is a tool from people that being bullied and the bully itself. It comes from different aspects. It's just not, even though, yes, we talk a lot about the kids that being bullied, but
the bullies also have a story, right?
It comes from the esteem issue at the end of the day.
At the root of everything, that's what it boils down to.
I mean, how we are as a person, it is how we view ourselves, our esteem. And it starts from children.
True. And I think it is great that you are using such creative methods to approach a sensitive issue like bullying. Now, I really admire one of your projects with Beacon of Hope. You have many similar community-based initiatives. Could you tell us a bit more about it?
Well, we did, you know, our last project was with Beacon of Hope, and that was lots of fun. And the other project that we did was with the children at the PPR, the PPR flats.
Can I just say something about Beacon of Hope? So, so for Beacon of Hope, we actually had sponsors as well. We had some our friends sponsoring, and we at CreaTee's matched that as well. And so that's the kind of workshop that we want to do with kids who might not have the opportunity to own the kit. So, you know, we go to community centers, and it was great. The children there was like super awesome. They totally enjoyed it. And
really receptive.
Yeah, very receptive. And a parent would always say it's like a very controlled chaos. Like you put a kid in a room, right? With, you know, you could see 20 other children. They'll sit there. They'll sit there and concentrate or copy their friends, you know, artwork. So it's a very, and we had a lot of time with the kids over there, and then the next week we had an excursion at the bird park, so all the kids were wearing the t-shirts. So and we love to see that they're so into it.
Very, very cool indeed. You know, I must say that, because we're talking about the expressions on the kids' faces, and you mentioned, you know, one young man, as you mentioned, who was very proud of his t-shirt. But what's the feedback from the parents? I'm sure my mom wished this kid was round, because I was doodling on walls and stuff like that, so better doodle on t-shirts.
Which is also a form of expression.
Which is also a form of expression. You know, unfortunately, she had to express herself by repainting it. So, you know, what's the feedback like from the parents?
Great. I mean, overall, we heard like really good things from the parents, and the most common is like they have to hide the t-shirts after a while, because they would want to wear it like, you know, 7 days a week. So it's like, and then sometimes it just gets too old. They're like, no, you're not going out with that, you know. So it's a lot of hiding.
Bantal busuk kind of thing, right?
Very bantal busuk. So there's a lot of hiding going on, you know.
Wow, they really love the kid.
We've got dads who spend time with their kids as well. So it's like a family activity. So that's great. So like, I think for Father's Day, I think last year we had like this one family, you know, so they spend time and celebrated Father's Day together.
Brilliant. Very nice.
Sorry. And some mom has told us, oh, I didn't think I was going to be that creative. I didn't think I had that in me. I didn't think I had that in me. You know, it's like, oh, okay.
And they got proud. They're like, oh, I helped my child, but oh, I can do it too.
You know what, just listening to all of this, I think I'm going to get myself a CreaTee's kit.
You should.
Yes, and thank you so much for joining us today on VBuzz. We hope you continue this amazing work of yours, you know, empowering children to be better versions of themselves. And thank you for joining us on VBuzz.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now,
you know what, Jay?
I know. You're thinking what you're going to draw on your shirts already.
That's for me, but I got to tell you, my niece and nephew are watching. We have something to do tomorrow. We're going to make some t-shirts.
And don't be surprised, the next show she'll show up with one of her homemade t-shirts.
I might.
But speaking of next show, tomorrow on VBuzz, CreaTee's is a monthly subscription box service that is thriving because, well, who doesn't love surprises, right? We'll be speaking to one of their founders about how they are bringing the element of surprise to our lives.
We'll also be joined by Digital Durian, the animation company that is responsible for the popular YouTube channel Didi and Friends that produces localized blends of nursery rhymes that engages Malaysian children.
Brilliant. You know, as always, guys, keep writing to us, vbuzz@astro.com.my. We love to hear from all of your comments, suggestions, the likes of that. And be sure to follow us on Instagram at VBuzz_HD.
We hope you have a great evening ahead. My name is Shankri.
And I'm Jay Walia. Take care, good night, and bye-bye.